New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Cynthia, Rev Julie, and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Hey everybody, welcome. It must be Friday because it's the High Vibe Hour. I'm Rev Skip. I'm an author, I'm a teacher, I'm a minister, and I'm so grateful that we get to dance in this party called Friday.
That's right. And I'm Reverend Julie Moret. I'm an inspirational speaker and spiritual teacher at the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. And I love the High Vibe Hour. I'm so glad to have a longer period of time to really dive in to certain, growth and healing and inspiring and up-leveling topics. So let's go.
Let's go. And our beloved Reverend Cynthia, she is speaking at a conference. So she's in Vegas, but she is speaking at the conference and we've talked about it. And it's actually happening this week. It's a big conference in Vegas. And I always want to ask, what happens in Vegas? Does it really stay in Vegas?
I don't think it's going to. I think she's going to be sharing next week.
I think so too. How you be? What's going on, sis?
Oh, man. Okay. I had a big one this week. So,
okay.
So there's this mountain that I love climbing and it's hard. So I love climbing is sort of a weird phrase for it, but what I love about it so much, it takes me about 3 hours and 45 minutes to get to the top. And when I get there, there's a cave. And the whole reason for me to do this hike is for that cave. It's like a glory moment. I'm going to post it on my Instagram page. It's like I feel beautiful and powerful and I'm like standing in the cave and the wind is whipping and I'm like 8,000 feet up in the air and it's the steep drop off. It's glory. But the whole hike is only about the 2 or 3 minutes standing in the cave. And so this week, because of our topic, which we're going to get to in a few minutes, and because of a film that I watched, I was really practicing the presence, like the whole hike up. And by practicing the presence, I meant like I was so aware of the muscles flexing in my thighs, like with every step, going up such a steep climb. And I was practicing gratitude. And it was kind of a weird thing because I was grateful, even though it was hard. Like I didn't really like it, for 3 hours and 45 minutes. But I was so in my body, which is, it's kind of different for me. So that was a big victory. And that's something that I've been playing with all week. So I got to the cave, I got my glory, beautiful shot. But I enjoyed the journey this time. And that's the lesson, right? So
that is so powerful. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you. And how about you?
When you were talking, something came up is that what we teach in yoga, because yoga is not always feel good, kumbaya, nama, nama, na, 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 na. Sometimes that stuff is challenging. Like I'm going to a heated yoga class right after this for 50 minutes. It's 110 degrees. You sweat it out. You go for 50 minutes. And it's probably the most challenging physical practice that I do, but it's where I'm the most awake and aware of how I'm feeling.
Oh, yeah.
In that moment, every bead of sweat, I'm aware. I earned that bead of sweat right there, sis. I earned that sweat.
There are times I would do hot yoga and I would be near the door. And when we had a chance to like downward dog or something, when your head is down, I'd be like sucking cold oxygen from under the door.
Girl, let me tell you, I stand by the door. It's like you have that door that's open just in case someone has to leave or go out. I'm getting that little, I get it. I get a little something in there. Yeah, this whole week has been very interesting. I've been on this kind of a myriad with feels that have been coming up, especially what's happening politically and the violence and all that stuff. And that's a whole different show. But I was very awake and aware of what am I saying and how am I causing this activity to happen around me, I became very, very awake and aware. With the words we say brings back our life. It just appears in our life. So I was very conscious this week of making sure that I'm saying words that's inspiring me and inspiring the world, to make sure what's coming out of my mouth is words of love, because we've been hearing words of hate. And it's
Yes.
been very interesting. I catch myself sometimes, and then you know what I do, Rev? I shame myself for missing the mark. And I'm going, hold up, wait a minute. Why are you shaming yourself because you missed the mark? You just start again. I was having fun with it and recognizing, oh, these are words that I'm saying. And they were in simple places like the 405, you know, my journey with the
The
405. And,
405 freeway. Yep. The
you
parking
know,
lot.
yesterday I got in the car and I literally drove from Culver City to North Hollywood to teach an hour yoga class, and I got back in the car and came back here. And I did because it's part of my practice, and I realized sometimes I have clients, sometimes I don't. And I was realizing, and I came to this really big decision the last couple of weeks. I'm moving to the Valley. I'm
Okay.
moving to the Valley, or I'm moving, either it's going to be the Valley or I'm moving to Hollywood, which is closer to North Hollywood. Just
Mhm.
less time spent in the car for me. But I
Beautiful.
wasn't really giving myself the freedom to say it's time for me to leave. It's time for me to
Mhm.
move forward. So
Yes.
what's been really fun is going online and looking at places. I'm going, oh, that's
Yes.
really cool. I would love to live. It's bright, it's open, and the next stage from this is actually
Mhm.
going to see it. So
Yeah.
I'm getting excited about home and shopping for a place. And my practitioner, Garrick Angel, we had a practitioner session around this. And I was talking about finding an apartment, finding it. And he goes, you're looking for a home. It's your
Oh,
home.
yeah.
It just dropped into, it shifted everything, because that's exactly what we're looking to do, to create a home. So it's
Yes.
been high vibing on creating a new home for me.
Oh, that's exciting. I love that. I'm going to stand so with you and just know that the divine
Please.
right home situation reveals itself immediately in lovely ways
Absolutely.
with ease and grace.
With ease and grace. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I love what we're talking about. You want to
Oh,
tell the
yeah.
audience what we're kind of jamming
Yeah.
in? This
So
is
I
good
was
stuff.
watching, yeah, it's great stuff. So I was watching a film about fasting, which I don't necessarily promote. That's a whole other topic. But I was watching this subject, and they were speaking about how when people fast or simply eat less, it gives the
Mhm.
body temple an opportunity to not be focusing on digesting all the stuff that's in there and keeps coming in there all day long, and to start seeking out anything that needs to be released or let go of. And people have really extraordinary healing experiences when they do some kind of fasting. But what came to me is the idea of nutrition, but not only nutrition from the outside in, what we eat and put in our bodies, but the
Mhm.
inside out, the thoughts, the
Yeah.
spiritual practices, all the things. And the reason why I like speaking about this so much today is I think topics like this that we discuss periodically, it's like an opportunity to re-up. So whatever it is we know or we think we know,
Mhm.
there is always enormous benefit in a check-in. Like, how you
Yeah.
doing with that? Are you getting
Yeah.
your water in? Are you getting your
Yeah.
fiber in? Are you getting, all the things? So that's really where the inspiration came from. And you are Mr. Health and Wellness. So I'm super pumped to hear, any offerings that you have on
Yeah.
this subject.
I get your question. I'm going to throw this to you. I believe, and this is where I'm seeing more and more, people are actually approaching their eating with kind of a new, vibrant intention. And I'm watching friends of mine who are now speaking those words of plant-based. And we're not saying vegan
Ah,
anymore. Vegan has a lot of, energy around it. We're saying plant-based. And it's been very interesting to see a shift in people that were big meat eaters said, no, I need to shift my eating. And they're really, I don't know if have you seen that? Have you seen people around you starting to shift?
okay. So I've experienced kind of the opposite thing
Oh,
because
wow.
as women get older, all of a sudden things that used to work no longer work. Metabolism changes, hormones are changing, and a
Mhm.
lot of women, mostly for weight reasons, are going back to the lean proteins of chicken and seafood. And sometimes I feel like, wait, why y'all all leaving me? You know, people that I had followed. There's this really prominent, like very
Right.
outspoken vegetarian that I'd followed for years, and she's like bone broth and, you know, her lean meats. And so I've been seeing the opposite of that,
Right.
um, you know, but I think the whole subject is, it's kind of what works for you. And I think there is no
Mm,
debate over a more heavily
yeah.
plant-based diet. You know, all the Blue Zone stuff, Dan Buettner, all the longevity stuff, those people that are living to 100 and beyond, fruits, vegetables, grains, are nuts are primarily the diet. There's no question about that, whether people have a smaller portion of the lean proteins or not. Do you know
Mm.
about that?
I do. I do. This is very, very interesting, and thank you for saying what you just said, giving us permission to whatever works for you. And
Yeah,
I'm
at the
finding
stage of life you're in.
at the stage of life you're in, I'm finding now at 62. I keep saying I'm six. Actually, I'm not. I'm 61. I keep saying I'm 61. I'm 62 next year. I'm 61.
Awesome.
And I find that there are moments that I am really feeling very comfortable with eating plant-based and doing my thing and da da da. And then there's some days I just need an egg. And I know I scramble up an egg and it feels so good.
Mhm.
And then of recent, I've been addicted to avocados. Like I will just cut
You
an
and Michael
avocado
Bernard
up and
Beckwith.
I just scoop the avocado and I'm feeling full.
Yeah.
I'm feeling full from the avocados and I'm eating more of, I'm trying not to eat so many nuts because nuts can be very
Yeah.
constipating for me. I said that, but I'm still trying to find my way through what really works for me. And the other day we were out feeding the unhoused, and from our church community in North Hollywood,
What's the
we
name
were
of it?
feeding the
What's the name of the
unhoused.
church? No, of your
It's
church.
North Hollywood Church of Religious Science, a oneness center for spiritual living. Big
Awesome.
name, and the most people know what we're doing. We're actually shifting soon, not when, but soon, from a spiritual center for a oneness center for spiritual living.
Yeah.
So we were out feeding the unhoused. We do this every third Sunday after church. And last month that just passed, um, I'm in line serving food, and they put me next to the fried chicken. Girl,
Was it calling
girl,
to you?
it was called my name. It was going, come on,
Was it
baby. You know
seducing
you.
you?
It was seducing me. It was the best smelling fried chicken. I don't know if it's because I haven't had fried chicken in a while. Rev, I was like, I think I could sneak a piece of chicken. Nobody ever know. But it smelled so good. It really smelled so good. And I find myself, I crave these things. Now, the practice is, do I need to eat the chicken? And that's why I've
Mhm.
been asking myself, do I really need what I'm about to eat?
Yes. That's a whole area that I'm really diving into right now.
Okay.
It's this idea of, our culture is so catered towards, um, convenience and,
Mm,
comfort and ease and satisfying all the senses, and doing the hard thing is hard, and not that many people do it. And I follow all these motivational sites, and the people that are at the top of their games, a lot of people are willing to do the hard thing anyway. So I have these voices in my head of like, oh yeah, I want this. But what, in the moment, my senses are seduced by this, my senses are craving this. But
mm,
what I really want is, and I think that's the power, is to take a moment and get clear. What is it that I really want? Who do I really want to be? How do I want this body to function and look? And having that be so compelling that it outweighs the, scoop of ice cream or the piece of fried chicken, or you have it and then you get right back on and you do your work. I know that cutting everything out only leads to like a binge at some point.
yeah.
So how do we say, okay, I'm going to do this today. There's a piece of fried chicken that's calling your name. I'll do this today, but then get right back in instead of letting it be a
Absolutely.
spiral into Kentucky Fried Chicken land. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. And you're talking about in my book that's coming up next year, I
What's
created
it
something called the
called? What's
AB.
it
It's
called? Tell
called
us.
10 it's called 10 transform in 10 steps for thriving at 50 and beyond.
Love
And
it.
I was reading this chapter on mindful eating, and I created something years ago, and I've been using it for my clients and my personal training clients and people. It's called the ABCs of eating. And the ABCs of eating is: A is amount, B is balance, C is connection. The amount always is so important that we understand that where we were taught to eat these huge plates of food, it's an
Yes.
old paradigm. If you go to Europe or somewhere else,
Yes.
you're like, what is this all we get? And they come
Yes.
here to America and they go, oh, I can have 3 meals on this. So
Yes.
your amount is key. Also, the amount we want to move more and eat less, because we've been trained to eat less and move or eat more and move less. So I talk about the amount. Balance is, I believe, and this is just my thinking, that we should have
Mhm.
more living foods
Right.
and foods that love us. And if you want to have that piece of fried chicken, that's great. But can you have a salad with it? Can you do some fruits at the very end or whatever? But there needs to be a balance. Most of us are great carnivores, but we
Mhm.
haven't became very awake and aware of what plant-based eating can do for us. And then the last one is what you're talking about, is connection. And during the pandemic, I came up with this. It's like, oh, my desk is right by my refrigerator, and it was easy for me to go from my desk to my refrigerator and just eat. And I had to ask myself, why am I eating this? Am I eating because
Yeah.
I'm bored? I'm hungry? Am I lonely? Am I sad? Why am I eating this? And what do I really, really want? So it requires meditation. Sis,
Yeah.
you got to meditate on what you're going to eat.
Mm, yeah, so that film that got me all fired up, I was
Yeah,
texting you like, "I'm watching this movie." It's
I
called
know.
because the guy lives in Bali and you're doing a retreat in Bali in
Right.
what is it, April, is it?
In March.
In
In
March.
March.
Okay, so this guy's in Bali and he does these very long fasts, but he was talking about how when people fast, all these feelings come up. So I
Mm.
want to take a minute. Let's just do some
Yeah,
physical check-ins with
I love
everybody,
that.
ourselves.
Love that.
So the first thing which you just touched on is to take a moment and check in, like before I go for that snack, or I like dark chocolate chips and almond butter, like on a tablespoon.
Mm.
Yum, yum, yum. But maybe to take a moment and check in, like, what are my feelings right now? Because
Yeah.
sometimes that's comforting something and numbing out something. And so that's a beautiful spiritual practice. And if you develop the discipline to write and journal every day, like so that because maybe, and what I've been finding is I don't need, all the snacks that I do throughout the day because they're pacifiers. I'm like a grown baby pacifying myself. And if I take
Mm.
some of that out, then I'm like, oh, okay, I have these feelings. I have this anxiety. So that's one practice we can do. And just on the physical front, we're talking about nutrition from the outside in. Let's do a check-in. How you
Yeah.
doing with hydration, and what's right for you? I've always gone by the rule of thumb, half my body weight in ounces of water. That's the
Mm.
goal, but as you're listening to this, do the research, right? So yeah, good, Colleen. I'm so glad you're with us. So she was talking about wanting some encouragement, some support. We all need it. That's why I love doing this kind of program. And I would do this program once a month,
Yeah.
like check in. How are you
Check
doing with
in. I love
water?
it.
Are
Yeah.
you on it? I use my Fitness Pal and I just track my water throughout the
Oh,
day, right?
okay.
So easy. Or I wake up in the morning or the night before, I'll take, a 32-ounce jug and I fill it up with water and I know, how much I need to drink throughout the day. So that's water. How you
Mhm.
doing with it? Being hydrated shifts everything. It lubricates the brain. You're thinking more clearly and better. Every organ,
Everything.
every elimination, like all the things we know about it. Let's do it. Hydration. The
Yeah.
second thing.
Can I speak on hydration just really quickly?
100, of course,
My
of
my
course.
my go-to for this, and I learned this being an athlete and teaching cycling and running and all that. The rule of thumb for us in fitness, there you go, you got it. The water. If you are sitting and you're thirsty, you're dehydrated. If
Yes.
I am feeling thirsty at any moment, I'm going, oh, I'm thirsty right now. Let me go get some water. The other key for this is that I'm trying my very, very best when it comes to, and eventually we talked about this, I would love to remove coffee out of my, it's just neurologically, it's bothering me. And I know it is because I go on this high, then I go on this low. So I'm slowly changing to tea. But if you're drinking tea or caffeine, you must double up, even triple up the amount of water you put into your body because tea and coffee is a dehydrant. And so we have to be mindful. Okay, if we're going to do this, then what must we do to come? I just had to throw that in there, Rev.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things with water
Yeah.
are in the mornings. Yeah, it can be great to just chug 20 ounces or how many ounces, just really flush the system with water. But the
Yeah.
rest of the day, it's sipping. To really rehydrate all the cells and to even think about that. You mentioned the consciousness aspect. What was your third step? Was it consciousness or
It's connection. It's connection.
So the third step is really connecting in. What am I doing
Yeah.
here? What's the purpose of me drinking all this water? The purpose is
Right.
I want to hydrate every cell in my body. I want to just plump up my hydration, my lubrication throughout my whole body so that there's greater ease and movement and function and clarity and all the good things, right?
Mhm.
So it's, yeah, you can flush the system in the morning and then it's sipping throughout the day. And, you can do the lemon in there, the lemon juice. You could do the apple cider
Yes.
vinegar. You could do all the little touches if you want.
Yeah.
And so in the warmer months, in summertime, we might put some lime juice, which is very cooling. We might put a little watermelon, which is also cooling for the body. As
Oh,
we
I love
move
it.
into fall and winter, we want to add little cinnamon or things that are more heating for the body. So
Yeah.
that's hydration. The other thing that is game changer is fiber. Like, are you getting that fiber
Yeah.
in the veggies, in the fruits? And as you were speaking to, what does your plate look like? Because a lot of us are taught that we get like this big old hunk of, whatever the meat is, and then, the mashed potatoes, and there might be like a string bean. But what we're speaking to, or what at least I'm sharing, is those ratios. We want to shift them. We want the bulk of that
Absolutely.
plate to be greens and veggies,
Yeah.
some grains and some protein, whatever your protein is. And, you were asking me like, am I hearing more people turning towards plant-based? I'm hearing a lot of people that still eat some meat protein that are
Mhm.
very conscious of plant-based and are
Right.
incorporating more of the plants in them. For myself, for spiritual reasons, it's still important to me to stay on the vegan side of things. So I had to take some time, and when I was a teenager and I became vegetarian, my idea of vegetarian was like pasta with cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
a lot of
Please.
cheese. And so now,
Or Rev, you become a carbitarian. I call them. You're a
yes,
carbitarian, child. You are
carbitarian.
not a vegetarian. You're a carbitarian
I'm
because
so
potato chips are
healthy.
vegan as well. So you're a carbitarian.
Yeah, what did I see? I think Oreos are vegan. Did you see
Yes.
that? Oreos.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am.
I'm
I
vegan.
am. They're vegan.
So what I'm really growing into
Yeah.
is finding proteins that work well for me. And there are
Mm.
things, like just prepping my tofu for the week. And it's so simple to just like fry it up on a pan. And it's the
Scrambled
easiest thing.
tofu. I
Yeah,
love
like there's so many
scrambles.
things that are so easy that I like the taste of. And what I notice is when I am food prepped,
Yep.
eating is a delight. When I'm not food prepped, then I start being like, whatever, I could eat salmon or I could eat whatever. And I
Right.
haven't gone there yet, but because I'm really just focusing on food prep. So that's another thing to check in with, like, how do you do
Yeah.
with food prep? Are you
How do
taking
you do it?
care of yourself?
I learned something early on, and you're probably I can't remember the book, but Deepak Chopra had his book signing launch. This is years ago in Buckingham at Agape International Spiritual Center when it was on Buckingham. And Deepak Chopra's book, and I have it, I just can't remember the name of it. He talked about the rainbow diet, or the rainbow, and it's foods that have been infused by the sun. So if you think about the color of your plate, should have grape. It should have the purples and the reds and the greens and the yellow and the orange, and you should have all these beautiful reds. It should be so vibrant. And you can add in a little bit of your protein, your lean protein, because I believe there are some proteins that are not the very highest vibrational energy. I know if I eat a burger that's been cooked in grease, it's like, give me a bed. I need to go to sleep.
Right.
If I am having some protein, if I add a little slight, white fish, or a little bit of, mostly I've been eating protein, or tofu and tempeh and all that. But you have to be mindful of what are you putting into your body. But the rainbow diet, or rainbow mindful eating practice, I stopped using diet because there's two words in diet, die and it. I don't want to die. I'm not an it.
Yeah.
But there is a way that you can look at your plate going, wow, this is colorful. I'm feeling I'm on the right track.
100%. So that whole theory of eating the rainbow is a big thing that's spoken about in blue zones. When you look at people that live 100 and over, but are living with vitality and mental clarity and physical strength, there might be 27 different ingredients per meal. It might be a big stew or soup. And that's another thing for gut health. It's the variety, having a variety, not eating the same things every day. So I know we're going to go to a commercial in a moment. I just wanted to wrap this outside in piece up by the reminder as we're listening. Okay, this is my check-in. How am I doing with hydration? And how am I going to get the amount of water I need every day? And is it right for me to do half my body weight in ounces? Or if I'm nowhere near that, what can I start with? So that's the first check-in, is hydration and water. The second check-in is, how am I doing with getting, the dark leafy greens and the fruits and the vegetables and the variety for gut health, the variety and getting that fiber in. It's easy to research to find out what amount of fiber is right for you at the stage of life that you are in. That's a big key to health.
Huge.
And so we're doing a water check-in, we're doing a fiber check-in, we're doing are you getting enough protein check-in, and what proteins are right for you? One of the things that's really helped me in curbing my hunger is making sure I start the day with protein, which I didn't normally do, and so I think of how much protein I want in a day, and I try to do it equal breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So those are the physical outside in check-ins on nutrition. And I mean it, like we could do this every month because it's so important. I think
it's part that we should be doing. We should be doing this. Another thing, when we come back, I really would like to talk about probiotics and things that we can put in for gut, because a lot of people don't understand. If you have, and there are vegan yogurts out there that is made for your tummy, and coconut kefir and things that you can people don't think about. Oh, this is why I'm feeling so constipated. And so because I'm not taking care of the gut. And if you don't take care of the gut, the rest of the body is saying, well, I don't have to work because the gut's not working.
Yeah,
it's so important.
There's a brand called Kahil, Kahil, and it's almond soy yogurt, and it's unsweetened. Because a lot of the really delicious plant-based yogurts are like sugar. Yeah. But I found one, I had it this morning, that's unsweetened. And then you can put the berries and the things that you love.
Well, you post that into the social media. Let's post that in social media, because people need to hear this. Because people are always saying, how do you know what to do? I'm going, okay, just hit me up on social. This is so good. This is really good stuff. Okay, we have to take a break. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned.
Let's go.
Well, hello there. This is Dr. Sydney Steen. I am the senior minister and spiritual leader of the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. We are a oneness center for spiritual living. And I just want to invite you to something that I think is really, really special. In October, from the 6th to the 10th, at Unity Village in Lee Summit, Missouri, the affiliated New Thought Network will be hosting the most wonderful retreat. This will serve your soul. It will lift your heart. And oh my goodness, I want to call it an advance. So come hear wonderful speakers like Martha Creek, Sonny Cantrell, and the music will be off the hook with Ricky Byers. There will be so much there to support your soul. I hope that you will join us. You can go to antn.org. That's antn.org. You can get all the information. You can sign up. You can use a credit card, and it is safe and secure, and I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
Are you passionate about media, storytelling, and making a difference? Welcome to New Thought Media Network, where your voice matters. We amplify diverse voices and share impactful stories. Join us in our mission. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to creativity and community, looking for enthusiastic volunteers who want to be part of something bigger, learn, grow, and collaborate in various aspects of media production. Incredible support and camaraderie await you here. Your contributions will help us create powerful content that resonates with audiences and drives social change.
Ready to make a difference? Visit our website www.ntmedia.org to learn more about volunteer opportunities and how you can get involved.
Find our volunteer inquiry under the Engage tab on our website, or visit www.ntmedia.org/volunteer. We look forward to connecting with you soon.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Cynthia, Rev Julie, and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
And we're back. So
Yes.
I have a question for you, Rev. I have a question
Please.
for you. How do you break the cycle from, I know there's a lot of people who are wanting to take this living, I call living food type feeling and practices. How do you break the cycle from the cheeseburger to a kale salad? How do you break the cycle? What is your secret?
So I think I'm a big proponent of manageable, doable steps and accountability.
Ooh.
Manageable, doable steps and accountability. So like we were speaking in the first half, I would say, and I also like to crowd out what I don't want with what I do want. So three things: manageable, doable steps, accountability, crowd out what you don't want with what you do want. So if somebody is wanting to go from cheeseburger to a more plant-based, if somebody's having a cheeseburger, have a salad too, and you start to crowd out what you don't want with what you do desire. And then what happens is, after a while, what is nutrition for the body truly starts to just feel better. Like you were saying, you may like your coffee, but your body is not into it right now.
Yeah.
So you know that, and you know what your body does want. And so after a while, that thing that we used to crave, it's just kind of like, it doesn't have the seductive pull anymore. I also like manageable, doable steps. I would never go for, today I will never have this thing that I've been having every single day. I will stop it completely. I think that's a setup for failure. So I would
Yeah.
say, today maybe I'll add in some, a portion of greens with one of my meals, with two of my meals, and you keep growing it. So we're changing the look of the plate. So the plate is no longer, because for a while, I mean, it's so easy for it to just be the carby thing or the fattening thing or the meat thing. And, if there is anything green on the plate, it's an afterthought. So for a while, I would just start to say, I'm just going to add, I'm going to grill up some veggies. I'm going to just
Yeah.
add that. Or
Yeah.
I'm going to eat, if you eat out a lot, I'm going to food prep, I'm going to eat in one more meal per week and just notice the difference. Because then you're getting rid of all kinds of oils and butters and salts and things and sugars just by eating out, even if it's a healthy thing you order. There's a funny thing. We used to go to this restaurant and a friend of mine would just always order salmon. And then one day I found out how they were prepping the salmon, and it was prepped in a butter bath.
Ooh.
A butter bath. Can we just say that again? That
A butter
delicious
bath.
steak, that delicious chicken, it's in a butter bath.
It's in a butter bath.
So just to reiterate, the three things: you want to crowd out what you don't want with what you do
Yeah.
want. So you start taking these manageable, doable steps. One little thing, like as you're listening right now, because there is no other moment, what's one thing I'm going to do today? Like, what's one thing? And then the accountability piece. I use my Fitness Pal because I track what I eat, and it helps me stay on target with fiber, with protein, with carbs, with calories. Super easy. But you could have, if you've got a prayer partner, or if you've got a buddy, you could say, hey, you want to do this thing? Let's just buddy up and we'll check in with each other and say what your goal is. It might be, I'm going to get half my body weight in ounces of water for this whole week. And then you check in every day. How did I do? Oh, fell a little short. Okay, get back in the game. And you could make it fun. You could have like, something that you get a prize or something for yourself if you succeed in what you say. Or like, I do Pat Finn's Rubicon results program sometimes. And like, then you got to like take a cold shower or do something you don't want to do if you didn't follow your thing. So,
well, that's punishment though.
Yeah. Like a little, manageable, doable steps, accountability, and crowd out what you don't want with what you do want.
One of the things that I'm very, very clear, and this is, we're kind of in the same kind of thinking about this. The one thing that I'm going to invite you not to do, and we always talk about what you want to do. I'm going to invite you not to food shame yourself. Because what happens is when we food shame ourselves and we're feeling the shame and we're feeling the blame of missing the mark, we in turn feed all the body, all the things that we don't want so we can feel better. I remember having this very, you get to agape, your life change. And I remember I was absolutely plant-based for 12 years straight. And it was beautiful. In fact, I was much longer than that. And then I went to Florida and all bets were off. I remember going home and, missing the mark and understanding that the shaming process led me to look for something that I would call soul food.
Yes.
And I realized soul food was not always, and I talk about this in the book, soul food was not feeding me.
What book is that? What book is that?
Transform in 10. It's coming. It's coming your way. Transform in 10 steps for thriving 50 and beyond.
Not in January. Okay.
January. But part of this was I had this epiphany when I was at home. It's like, we call this soul food. It's and listen, my mama, I love you. I love my mother. I love the way she doesn't cook any longer, but she was the greatest cook she taught me everything I know, everything about cooking. But I realized too, there's part of the things of a cultural connection. The reason why we have fried chicken and macaroni cheese and all this. And I was finding myself eating this at home, visiting at home and shaming myself for eating it. I'm going, this is something that's counterintuitive here. I'm not blaming myself for sharing in my family. I think it was like Thanksgiving or something. Really having this awakening about food shaming. that this is not going to get me to where I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's something I work with a lot. I've mentioned it, I think, every time we speak on here. I just have to say, this is the first time I'm wearing headphones and I'm really having like a hair thing.
Yeah,
So
I love it. I love it. You look
just
great though.
really like, okay. I was doing a
I
hair
love
check.
it.
All right. So this is one of the things that I've noticed is a check-in on when I'm leaving myself. And when I say, am I leaving myself, it means, am I stepping out of integrity with myself? And so when you say food shaming, a way to not leave myself in that kind of situation is to make that decision and say, Liz is really worried about where Cynthia is. Reverend Cynthia is at a conference in Las Vegas. She is well and she is thriving, Liz.
Yeah, I just want to get that up there, Liz. She's good. She's taking a week off.
But anyway, so say it's Thanksgiving, and I want my mom's pecan pie. Like I just do. I know it's got more calories than anything else on the dessert table, but I want my mom's pecan pie. And so the way that I not leave myself is by making a conscious decision and say, I am choosing this. I am doing this. When it's conscious, rather than doing it and then being guilty later, or judging later, there's like a power in deciding to decide. Does that make sense to you? Do you know what I mean by that?
But here's what's even making more sense to me right now. What you're saying, we are now in September. We have October, November, December. We need to be doing this show like this at least once a month. Because we're getting into this time and season, because we're thinking, here comes Halloween. We have all the kids and all the candies and all the things we do. And then we have Thanksgiving coming up. I'm going home for Thanksgiving. I'm having some pecan pie. But how do I do it with the ease and grace and love of spirit? Christmas comes around, New Year's comes around, and this is the information I believe that people are looking for, this balance. It's not just balance eating, it's balance in your mind and your spirit. So I am picking up what you dropping down, sis. Yeah, this is good stuff.
And I love that you're talking about balance, because it's two sides. So making that decision, this is not going to be a free-for-all. Otherwise it becomes just a spiral that starts Halloween and just goes on and indefinitely. And then it's so hard to get off that sugar high or that carb high or whatever it is. So it's about saying yes to the things that we want, the yummy things, the traditions, the rituals, all that yummy stuff from family, the childhood memories, foods, those the kind of things. And there's another piece I want to layer in here.
Okay, please.
And that is, so I saw this documentary, it's called Finding Peace. And it's about a woman who was given a diagnosis, and she went to New Zealand to work with a monk. And the monk said a couple things that have been like alive inside of me. And it's now several days. So I know it's something that may come out clumsy, but I feel like there's gold in it. And so one of the things that he spoke to is the goal isn't comfort. The goal is not ease. The goal is like stretching into everything we can possibly be in this lifetime. It's to full expression. And so there's a way in which I get numbed out, dulled down when I'm like, groggy on a carb high, and if the goal isn't to kind of wallow in ease, it's okay to do a hard thing. It's okay to do a hard thing. Sometimes it's hard to be in an environment where the table is just full of everything delicious and say, no, I'm not going to have the second piece of whatever or the bigger piece of whatever. So I want to like layer in here that it is okay and powerful to do a hard thing. And I've been practicing that this week, like it landed in me. And sometimes there's something that's just easy to eat that I want to eat because it's fun and it's nighttime and I'm watching TV. And I've been feeling what it feels like to be like, yeah, that's not what I'm going to do right now. And I'm not going to do it just because what I really want. And that's where you have to have the bigger vision. Like
Yeah,
my bigger vision is I want to be as clear and dynamic and illuminated as I could possibly be when I'm on there on stage. Like how bright
absolutely.
can I be? And I am dull and groggy when I'm carved out. So I'm counterbalancing. I'm saying yes to two things. I'm saying yes to pecan pie
Mhm.
because I feel like we all need to say yes to pecan pie or whatever your version of it
Yeah,
is.
whatever it is,
But I'm
whatever it
also
is.
saying it is okay to do a hard thing and to find a
Yep.
place in there to allow it to be okay to do a hard thing.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
other thing too, so I want to piggyback on their hard thing. We also get into the thinking I can't afford to eat. Like I can't afford to go to Whole Foods or I can't afford to do this. This is why I'm going to McDonald's because it's more. There are ways that I believe that we have yet to really find sustainable ways to eat and finding like I don't always get everything organic. I would love to, but sometimes I go into and I go to the produce section. I'm looking at the organic stuff that doesn't look so good, but I look at the other stuff and I go, okay, this is in my budget that I realized too, the amount of money that you would pay to be eating fast food every day can equal up to getting a whole bunch load of greens and vegetables and take it home. And the time doing a hard thing is, like you were saying, is food
Yes.
prepping. We have to be willing to and I do something, and I'm not promoting another book, but I do have another book called The Lotus Kitchen that I created with
I have
Gwen
it.
Keneally. You do
Yes,
have it,
I
and
do.
then we talk about this that we in preparing your plant-based eating, your food prep. Can you pray over your food? Can you say a little blessing? Can you say,
Mm,
"Oh God, look at the greens. Thank you for the greens. Strawberries. I see the red. I see the little dots on the strawberries. Thank you. Can you really connect with preparing your food versus going to and listen? Sometimes you go through no shame. You go through the fast food, you get it. But there is something so sacred and so beautiful about looking at your food and preparing it and being with it and breathing and smelling. When was the last time you really smelt the lemon before you put it into
mm.
your water? Or did you really smell the orange? Or I'm into peaches right now. I love me a good, and I don't like
Oh,
smushy
yes.
peaches. It has to be hard and firm. I'm
Okay.
one of those weird people that love hard, firm peaches and nectarines, and I can still taste it. It feels so good. And another eating meditation, when you eat the nectarine or the peach, you chew it up 100 times, try, 25 times. Feel it. What does it feel like in your mouth? What is the taste? What is the sensation? Then when you swallow it, stop. Be with it. What is the body saying to you when it lands in you? What is the body saying to you? What
Mm.
are you feeling? What's the vibration that this incredible piece of food, and the great thing about plant-based, it grows back. We harvest. There's a season, and plant-based eating is the only source of food that will replenish itself. So we can take the peach. Guess what? It's going to grow again. It's living food. And so you can recognize, thank you for the peach. And I know you're coming back. I know I'm going to see you next season. And that's how I felt more connected, more mindful with the food that we are eating, making a
Yes.
connection.
Yes. So now we're really moving into nutrition from the inside out.
Yeah.
And there's a practice I started doing recently where when I eat, I turn the
Mhm.
sound on my phone off and it's upside
Ooh,
down. And what
ooh.
I've noticed is my digestion is better, my nervous system is calmer. Even if things are fine in my life, I just stay in kind of a ramped up state when I'm like waiting for watching the phone. And so there's a way of sacredness. I really speak to sacredness in the daily life. When I was raising my son, every single
Mhm.
morning at breakfast time, there'd be a candle lit on the dining room table when he came down for breakfast.
Ooh.
Every morning, a cloth napkin. Um, there would be warm food. There'd be bright
Mm.
colors. Like it just became part of the whole ambiance of starting the
Mm.
day. I would have like pretty chakra balancing music, very, very low playing. And so let's just take a moment because
Yeah.
we have a physical, biological, psychological response to everything in our environment.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
what the environment that you eat in impacts you. It impacts every aspect of us.
Yeah.
And so what I've been playing around with is, am I eating on the go? Am I eating in the car? Am I eating on the run? And then what does that feel like in my body, as opposed to flickering candlelight? Like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Flickering candlelight. The sound, like not hearing the pings on my phone going off, just being able to really focus and to taking that moment, like you just spoke to take a breath and look at this food and know and decide that it's nutrition, know and decide that it is creating vibrancy, it's creating health, it's creating energy throughout my whole body temple when we link up our consciousness with our nutrition. Wow. You want to talk about a dynamic team? That's the dynamic duo right there.
It is. And you know what? I just had a thought as you were talking. I realized where we got this practice of eating in front of the TV. In the 50s or in the later 50s, we got something great invention called TV dinners.
Yeah.
Remember those? We learned that eating was about being in front of the TV on your thing, and it's still happening now when most of us or some of us will be eating and on our phone at the same time answering emails or sitting from the TV. The mindful practice of eating is going to shift how it feels inside of you. That is deep. I mean, that's going to be like, okay, my new thing for this week, am I mindfully eating without my phone pinging and without the TV?
Yeah, and to really check in and notice, how does that feel inside my body? Because it feels different. I had a very humbling thing happen. I had somebody in my life, and she's got stomach issues, and she's taking medication, and she has a lot going on in her personal life. And I was like, oh, well, she just can't stomach what's happening right now. Like I went to the metaphysical. She can't stomach what's happening, and that's why she's having physical issues. And then I'm embarrassed to even say this, but I started having stomach things, and I never have stomach things, but I have stuff that I'm anxious about right now. And it showed up in my stomach. And I noticed that if I am having a disagreement with somebody, my stomach starts to get agitated. If I'm feeling anxiety while I'm eating, my stomach is agitated. And so that really kicked off this whole practice of mindfulness. And so I want to just do a recap right now. Is that all right with you? If we just recap outside in and inside out. So we're talking about nutrition, and we're going to keep talking about nutrition, and we're going to keep talking about nutrition because it is one of the most important factors in health and longevity, and a healthy longevity. So the first thing is hydration. How are you doing with that? Are you getting enough water in? Do you know what amount is right for you? Do your searches, meet with your wellness practitioners. I go with half my body weight in ounces of water. Are you doing the things to prep for success? It might be setting out the amount of containers the night before so you know exactly how much water. It might be MyFitnessPal. It might be an accountability buddy. What works for you? We're talking about the look of your plate. Is it time to up-level it? Yes. Yes, no matter how awesome you're doing, the answer to that is yes. So are we getting in the dark leafy greens? Are you getting in the vegetables? Are you getting in the grains? Are you getting in the fruits? Are you getting in the amounts of protein? And if weight is a concern, are you splitting that protein up throughout the day so you stay satiated throughout the day so that you're meeting your satiety needs and not just going for a quick like carby thing or sugar thing because you're hungry? Protein will help with that. Are you doing the research to know what your body needs at this season of your life, right? Yeah. And then from the inside out, let's go. Let's have that mindfulness practice that Rev Skip is talking about. Bless whatever you're putting into your body. Yeah. Bless it. Love it up. Be grateful for it already. And if it is the fried chicken or the pecan pie or the thing that you normally don't eat, be so grateful for it. Be so grateful. Know that it is nurturance and love, and it might be comfort, and it might be memories and ritual and family and whatever. Just bless it. Don't leave yourself. Sure. Just stand in yourself. I'm choosing this. Yeah. And I'm going to get back to whatever. Yeah.
And so this is a time because we're very close. We're closing down in about 4 minutes. So here's what I want you to do, y'all. This is a repeat episode, even if you see it. And when you come back to it, I want you to drop into the feed. And right now, if you're watching live, drop in the feed. What was your vibe insight? One thing that you can take away from, we gave you a lot of information today. What's the one thing you're going to commit to and shifting, because it is a practice. And so as you share this and share it, because what's going to happen is that when you share it, even if you're watching at the end, we come back to these comments, we'll see them. So if you're watching this after the show, leave your comments in there. So my vibe insight right now is just going to be, being more mindful about what I'm eating and how I'm eating, really taking that on this week. And you, what's your vibe insight?
I'm sticking with that whole do the hard thing anyway. I've been really rocking it all week, and times when I would normally acquiesce into something just because of comfort or ease, I've been choosing the hard thing. So I'm going to keep doing that because I have a vision of who I and how I want to be in the world. And I'm going to make that more powerful than, the crappy whatever snack.
So before we go, you have a great event that's coming up, Reverend Julie, and I want you to tell people about it because it's going to be a virtual retreat. It's in the program notes, y'all. There's a link to go directly and you can sign up. But really quick, tell us about the retreat, the virtual retreat.
Yeah, Koya Webb, she's a beautiful health and wellness practitioner, and she's got the Lifestyle Design Virtual Retreat. It begins tomorrow. It is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Direct links are in my social media. You can go to my stories. There's a direct link that'll take you right there. It is free. And she has gotten together, I think it's about 20 health and practitioner just like the best of the best in the field. And everybody's just downloading, sharing tools and practices to uplevel your game. It's a perfect time of year to do this. And so jump in, Lifestyle Design Virtual Retreat. It's with Koya Webb, and it begins tomorrow morning and it goes all day long. So you just get the replays. You got to get it. You got to jump in there. All the information is in our program notes. Also, if you want some one-on-one coaching with Reverend Julie, it's in the program notes. Just click on it. Also, I'm going to Bali. I speak about it every week, and we are more than halfway filled on this trip. If you want more information, go to my website, skipjennings.com, and you'll be able to find out more information about the Bali trip. And listen, this is going to be life-changing, and we're going to continue this conversation. And next week we're talking about the power of fasting, correct? Yes, in that area.
Yeah, in that area. We'll clarify it
next week.
So you want to not miss next week's because it's a continuation. Yeah. Is it me and you again next week? And Reverend Cynthia will be back to, and then Reverend Cynthia will be back the following week. So all y'all are saying, "Where's Reverend Cynthia?" She is doing God's work out there, doing the work right now. So this has been amazing. I'm fired up and ready to go. This is so good. Oh my goodness, y'all. We love y'all.
Being with you all. Yeah.
Make sure that you just be kind because kindness isn't free. Remember, transformation is a choice. You chose today because you showed up. Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace.
Well, hello there. This is Dr. Sydney Steen. I am the senior minister and spiritual leader of the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. We are a oneness center for spiritual living. And I just want to invite you to something that I think is really, really special. In October, from the 6th to the 10th, at Unity Village in Lee Summit, Missouri, the affiliated New Thought Network will be hosting the most wonderful retreat. This will serve your soul. It will lift your heart. And oh my goodness, I want to call it an advance. So come hear wonderful speakers like Martha Creek, Sonny Cantrell, and the music will be off the hook with Ricky Byers. There will be so much there to support your soul. I hope that you will join us. You can go to antin.org. That's ANTN.org. You can get all the information. You can sign up. You can use a credit card, and it is safe and secure, and I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.